today, marketeers are facing some of their greatest challenges. Not least because some of the old media, direct mail, TV advertising, radio advertising, is no longer producing the return on investment matrix that they used to, but new media that is being introduced, Google AdWords, blogs, wikis, and social media are not currently being able to be measured with the same level of accuracy or degree of integrity that they have been able to do with old media. So clients are faced currently with a dilemma: is how do I spend my marketing budget to get the greatest return? Actionable insight. Where should I spend my money? Blue Sheep have been working on a solution for this for the last 10 years to look at how you can take traditional business models such as a Boston Matrix, which is a macro model, and apply it at a micro level to a customer base or a prospect base that marketeers are currently targeting or exploiting. We've been working on this for 10 years with clients and also suppliers like Oxford Economic Forecasting, so we can build a simple view of the customer base and enable our clients to determine where they should be spending their money, using the actionable insight to deliver marketing campaigns and activities into the future. This comes across with three measures. The first measure is to do with market penetration. Where am I getting my customers from? How quickly or where, in which part of the market am I getting my customers from? And the second is to do with revenue. I may well be getting a lot of customers from a group, but are they really spending enough money with me to warrant me spending time and effort attracting them? And finally, although we have lots of customers and they do spend money with us, is that likely to continue in the future? Certain markets have come and gone. Novell Networks were one of the big network companies no more than 15 years ago. They don't exist anymore. Their market is finished. Windows have taken them over. So we also need to be looking at an economic forecast model that looks to determine, is there a future for these people in the marketplace? The central point of this diagram is average. If everything is in the middle, then it is average. What we're looking to try and see are companies or customers where we have a high market penetration or high revenue or good future potential. If everything falls to the middle, then there's no value in this money map. However, from experience, we will find that people and customer groups will segment into high and low points on this table here. Taking the client information, we look to try and split each of the customers into one of 2,000 cells. And those cells are created by business type and size. Then we're looking to understand how many customers and what revenue is being generated from those customers and that cell, and plot it onto our money map. Okay. By plotting customers with a high market penetration and a high revenue will enable us to put a customer cell in this segment here. Okay. So once somebody's put in this customer, this might be legal services with 250 plus employees. Alternatively, you could find that you could have a cell here where you have a high market penetration but a low revenue. In this cell here could be legal services with 25 to 49 employees. And what we're able to do is by segmenting our customers into these, or putting our customers into cells and then dropping them into these segments, we're able to look at a customer group and determine which ones we should take different actions to. If we're generating a high level of revenue and a high market penetration, then these are people we should treasure and look after. These are our treasure accounts. Alternatively, where we have a high market penetration and low revenue per customer, these are what we call our sales promotion accounts. Because in this section, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more revenue from these customers. We have enough of them, they're attracted to our services, but they don't spend enough money with us. It could be they never will, or it could be they're spending with our competitors. Where we have a high revenue, but a low market penetration, this segment here, we would call these our development accounts. or our development segment. They spend lots of money, we just don't have many of them relative to the share of the market. If we look at these accounts in detail, we might be able to determine why some spend with us and others don't. And if it's to do we don't have the right service offering, we can develop new service offerings for these customers. The final segment over here, where we have low revenue and low market penetration, we call them the avoids. These customers drain our resources. We don't get enough revenue, we don't have enough of them, and fundamentally they just cost us money. Of course, there are over 2,000 cells in which customer segments can be dropped, and they will vary in size according to their relative number of customers, the size of the market opportunity, and the amount of money that they spend with us and the revenue we generate. So in this treasure sector, you could see people that are very large and spend lots of money with you, and some that are very small and spend very little money with you, but they're still treasures relative to other segments in the marketplace. But as we've said, the aspect of this business is the closer you get to the center, the more you get to average. And we're looking for the outliers and the size of the revenue to be generated to help us determine which segments achieve more marketing spend than others. Because typically in the UK today and across most of the world, marketing expenditure and marketing programs are equally spread across all of those four segments. People don't avoid certain types of customers. They don't identify sales promotion type of customers. They spend their marketing pounds according to some traditional catalogue. I send everybody a communication, therefore I'll get some response. And the reality of a money map is that you don't send the same communications to every single segment. You send different communications to different segments. And by putting our marketing expenditure around the middle, we can see how much marketing money we're spending attracting customers in this avoid segment. From work we're doing with clients, we're looking to identify where revenue is coming from. And using the Pareto principle, we have seen that some 70 to 80% of the revenue is coming from the primary segments of sales promotion and treasure. And only 20% of the revenue is being generated by the avoids and the development accounts. And that is actually the opposite when you come to the number of customers, where just as you would expect, 20 to 30% of the customers are in a treasure sector and 30 to 50% will appear in our avoid segments. So if I'm spending my marketing pounds equally, I'm spending 30 to 50% of my marketing budget on the avoid classifications to generate 20% of my revenue. And I'm spending 20 to 30% of my marketing budget to generate 70 to 80% of my revenue. So unless you have an infinite marketing budget, you can optimize your marketing expenditure by focusing on accounts that you should treasure and not spending any money on those you should avoid, or spending less money per head on those you should avoid. In sales promotion, now this segment here, we really are faced with I maybe should be using more modern email, web sort of techniques in this sector, and more human interfaces, telephone, sales visits in this sector. And I shouldn't be doing anything in here. They should be finding me by using search engine optimization. I certainly shouldn't be doing PPC down here because I'm attracting people on the margin. Development, that is a different budget. You wouldn't spend marketing pounds in developing the accounts. You would maybe look to your sales department to help you develop your accounts in this sector by understanding what they were looking for and why they're attracted to you per se. If we looked at our sales value and we mapped our revenue, what we'd see in our revenue terms is that revenue map would be skewed in that manner. If we were then also looking at our customer map, we would see our customer map would be skewed in that manner. So very clearly from our money map, we can see where our customers are based and where the revenue is coming from. So our customers are based maybe in avoids and our revenue is coming from the treasures. But one thing companies don't do a lot of is they don't actually look at the cost to serve. If I've got a call center with 200 people in, taking orders over the telephone, who are they serving? Who are they interacting with? How much is it costing me to serve these customers? And we're able to map that by looking at an average cost to call, average cost to mail, average cost to go and visit, and map that out across here. And what we're discovering is that the skew is even more pointed to the avoid classification and the development classification of our money map. Because these people don't spend much money with you, but they spend a lot of time returning goods, they spend a lot of time on the telephone, they don't understand your service offering well enough. These people, the treasures, do understand your service offering, but also they know they can get it elsewhere. So these people will leave you rather than pester you. These people will pester you rather than leave you because they can't go elsewhere. They don't know where else to go. And work we've been doing for clients and prospects out has shown that in some instances, as much as 40% of the cost to serve has been taken up in the avoid segment, which has only been generating about 9% of their revenue. So in summary, if we looked at this money map and said, what does it help me do? It helps me look to see where my money is being spent, where my revenue is coming from, and how much I am allocating and resources I'm allocating to service my customers. It gives me the ability to create segments where I now have a raison d'etre as to why I'm undertaking certain types of marketing activity. At this end, I'm able to justify quite clearly why I phone people 3, 4, 5 times a month, why I'd send a salesman in to visit these people, because they're worth money. And a number of examples, they are worth in the region of 10 times more than customers in this segment here. So £1 spent talking to people in this segment will generate £10 of revenue, and £1 spent in this segment will generate £1 of revenue. So I get a far better return in here than I do in this segment here. But by having that raison d'etre as to why I do these things, it enables me to segment my market and my marketing budget to ensure that I'm optimizing the performance not only of my budget, but also of the support teams in telesales, field sales, and service engineers. So a money map to any business enables them to look at their customer base, their clients, and their prospects and determine where they should be spending their money. And by spending the money in this manner, they can optimize performance, usually by a significant sum of money. One client, without changing their marketing strategy, they improved their sales by 11% and their profits by 30%, just by implementing a money map strategy to their customer communications, customer and prospect communications. So it's a very powerful tool, and it's one that has enabled businesses to get a very simple overview of their customer base and prospect opportunities. A money map is not just applicable to marketeers. It has applications and implications for sales, finance, and operations. It enables them to focus their efforts where rewards are greatest. Here at Blue Sheep, we've spent 10 years developing this money map. And for our clients, it's no longer a nice to have. It's become an essential business tool.